I've always loved walking during fresh snowfall, but not hiking, just walking. There's something about snow that makes the world feel unfinished, like everything is paused halfway through a thought. Sound disappears, distance feels shorter, even familiar places stop feeling familiar. That night, I needed that silence more than usual. It had been one of those weeks where nothing big goes wrong, but everything feels heavy anyway. Deadlines, bad sleep, the constant background noise of life. I remember checking the weather earlier that day, multiple times actually. I always do in winter. No snow was predicted. Clear skies, cold but calm. That's why it stopped me cold when I glanced out my window just before midnight and saw the street glowing white. Snow was coming down fast, thick flakes dense enough that the road was already losing definition. I stood there, watching tire tracks fade in real time, erased as if they'd never been there at all. It felt sudden, unplanned, like the snow had decided to show up without asking. I didn't think it through. I pulled on my boots, grabbed the first jacket I could find, and drove out to a service road near the edge of town. It runs alongside a dense stretch of forest. No trailhead, no signage, nothing that marks it as a place people are meant to stop. Just a quiet strip of pavement most drivers ignore. When I parked and stepped out of the car, the silence hit me immediately. No wind, no distant traffic, no animals, just snow falling straight down, slow and steady, like gravity itself had eased up. I stood there longer than I meant to, letting it settle in, then started walking. My boots crunched softly with each step, the sound strangely loud in the emptiness. My breath fogged in front of me and vanished almost instantly. After about 15 minutes, my shoulders finally loosened. My thoughts slowed. That's when I noticed something off. Another set of footprints. They were fresh, same depth as mine, same spacing, heading in the same direction. At first, it didn't bother me. People come out here sometimes. But after a few seconds, I realized why my stomach had tightened. They were too close, always just a few feet ahead of mine, never overlapping, never drifting farther away, almost like whoever made them was adjusting their pace to match mine. I slowed down. The footprints slowed too. I stopped completely. So did they. I stood there staring at them, my breath clouding the air, my heartbeat suddenly loud enough that I could hear it in my ears. After a moment, I forced a quiet laugh and told myself I was being ridiculous. I took another step forward. That's when I noticed what really didn't make sense. There were no prints leading to them. They didn't come from the road behind me. They didn't emerge from the trees. They just started, perfectly formed right there in untouched snow. I scanned the forest line, suddenly aware of how dark it was beyond the road. That was when I heard it, breathing, not loud, not close, just present, slow, controlled, like someone trying very hard not to be noticed. "Hello?" I called, my voice sounding wrong in the quiet, too sharp, too alive. Nothing answered. The footprints ahead of me shifted slightly, angling off the road toward the trees. I hesitated. Every instinct told me to turn around. Instead, I followed them, convincing myself I just needed to see where they ended. They stopped abruptly at the forest's edge. No scuff marks, no drag, no deeper impressions, just smooth, untouched snow beyond them, as if nothing had ever passed that point. I stood there longer than I should have. That's when something brushed past my shoulder. It was cold, far colder than the air, and fast. Not a gust of wind, not falling snow, something deliberate, something that moved with purpose. I didn't scream. I ran. I sprinted back toward my car, slipping once, barely catching myself, my lungs burning. My hands were shaking so badly, I dropped my keys twice before I managed to unlock the door. I slammed it shut and just sat there, breathing hard, staring down the empty road. Nothing followed me. Nothing moved. Eventually, I drove home. I didn't sleep much that night. Around dawn, curiosity, Or maybe stubbornness got the better of me. I went back. The snow had covered everything. The road looked untouched. But right where the footprints had ended, there was still something there. A shallow impression in the snow, not shaped like a foot, not like anything specific. Just a place where something had stood completely still for a very long time, facing the road, facing where I had been standing.